Toby had been welcomed warmly on Thomas's branch line. He loved chuffing through the village, cheerfully ringing his bell as people waved. The villagers were quite taken with their new tram engine, much to Thomas's chagrin. One evening, Toby and Henrietta were bringing the workmen home from the quarry. The trucks, loaded with stone, rattled behind them. They had just left the quarry and were crossing the road when they heard an awful screech. Toby stopped, the trucks blocking the road. The driver and guard went along the train, looking for the problem.
One of the truck's brakes slipped on, Toby. It must have been loose. It won't take long to fix.
Toby sat patiently as the crew tended to the truck. Suddenly, he saw something coming up the road. It was the constable, the same constable who had given Thomas trouble, who was speeding towards him on a bicycle.
And what's going on here?
Trouble with the wagon brakes, sir. Won't be long till we're on our way.
This won't do. You're blocking a busy public road.
It doesn't look very busy at the moment, sir.
Don't get smart with me. You ain't nothing but lawbreakers.
He scribbled furiously in his notebook, stormed back to the guard, thrust a ticket towards him, and rode off in a huff.
Obstruction of traffic? What rubbish!
When the truck's brakes had been fixed, Toby set off, quite dumbfounded.
I don't understand. There wasn't a car to be seen. If I didn't know better, I'd say that constable has it out for us. Sir Topham Hatt won't be happy about that ticket.
Perhaps you're not the solution we thought you'd be after all.
Thomas shut his eyes and promptly went to sleep. Toby chuckled and followed suit.
Outrageous!
Sir Topham Hatt shouted next morning as he furiously hung up the telephone. He leaned back in his chair and sighed heavily. The butler came in.
More coffee, sir?
More coffee is certainly welcome, Winston. These policemen are more trouble than they're worth.
He sipped his coffee, pondering what to do. Later that day, Toby was heading along the farm lane with some trucks. He was still cross over what had happened, and the trucks knew they'd best behave themselves. As he came up the lane, he could see the constable on his bicycle.
Whoa! Whoa! What the? Look out!
The constable hadn't heard the car, but it was headed right towards him. Without hesitation, Toby rang his bell loudly. The constable heard that.
Are you alright, sir?
Just what do you think you're playing at?
But the car...
Stir it! I'll be reporting you for this. Mark my words.
Before Toby could reply, Bertie Buss came roaring up.
Toby, are you alright? That car didn't know you did it.
No, Bertie. I'm fine, thank you.
Thank goodness. He gave my passengers a good fright. That was some quick thinking on your part.
What's this? You're cahoots with this engine?
The driver and passengers stormed out of Bertie and marched up to the constable.
Look here, Toby's a hero. If it weren't for him, well, you'd be in a sorry state, let me tell you. Now, will you stop pestering Toby and try catching the real criminal?
The passengers, continuing to scowl at the constable, mumbled in agreement.
I couldn't have put it better myself.
Everyone turned to see Sir Topham Hatt and the Chief of Police.
First, you disrupt the work of my engines. Now you pin the blame of someone else's actions on them? I must say, Constable, your actions don't leave me with much faith in the police.
I assure you, Sir Topham, we'll be taking action to ensure that this never happens again.
He motioned angrily for the constable to follow him.
Sorry.
I don't think you'll have any further issues with him.
Oh, thank goodness.
That night, Toby backed into the sheds to find Thomas smiling.
Well done, Toby.
Oh, nothing to it. You've got to look out for the people on your line, no matter their behavior.
Not that. I mean the constable. You should have seen how he jumped when you rang your bell. Not so tough after all, I suppose.
Toby smiled. It certainly hadn't been done for a laugh, but he couldn't help feeling that by saving the constable, he had made a friend in Thomas.